talking about this pay to play issue in our country. We need to know who, why, when, how. So
why now, Dr. Richardson? He's not in government though. He's a candidate. He's a candidate. Why would you charge him about pay to play?
This is the best time for us to understand his insight into governance. Because let's say, okay, let's say even he's not even doing, let's say he's with Save the Children non-profit organization, which is humanitarian. Let's say he's even looking for money, campaign money, because there's stories out there. He told us, in fact, there's not even a story. He told us that he was broke. How does a broke man then gets income? I'm broke. I'm broke in the United States. I don't have no private jet owner contact. Okay, number one. Number two, and many Liberians do not have private jet owner contacts. Okay, how does a broke man move to a private jet? And then on top of that, tell us that he just stop that.
You can't do this. Let's move on. We'll come back to you, Mr. Jackson. We'll come back to you, Mr. Jackson. Let us put this into context and to be very serious. He is a candidate. But I see no pay to play here. He was invited to attend a meeting, meet somebody, talk to them, bring some goodies home to Liberia. What's the pay to play? Because they offer him to fly on a private jet, Mr. Jackson?
When you a presidential candidate, you made your declaration, you are no longer a private citizen. You belong to us. And whatever meetings you're having with Nigerian billionaires out there, we need to know who they are. We need to know what are you discussing and what are the discussions affect our country, affect the election. And bear in mind that we have clear laws on the financing of elections, that foreigners are not allowed to fund elections. So if this is a private meeting on church or circular matters, I think the fact that Mr. Boakai is a presidential candidate, the UP should have stated that he was leaving the country, who he was going to meet, whether we're going to be discussing, at least the contours of the discussion. So the kind of speculation that is going on now, okay, with some people saying that he's there cavorting with an arms dealer that was involved in a scandal and all of that. And that is just the problem with Liberia. Everybody wants to hide everything, no matter how innocuous it is. But like when I was coming to the States, when I was a kid, 16-year-old boy, my mom said, don't tell anybody coming to the States. And, and that whole mindset continued to characterize us. If you buy new shoes, you're not supposed to tell the people what brand it is. Look, Joe Boakai is a presidential candidate in a pivotal election 2023 next year. He was vice president of Liberia. If he's going to Nigeria to meet whomever, I think it's important for the UP public relations machinery to at least tell the public that he's going to Nigeria. This is what he intends to do. We don't need to know the details of the discussion with this man, but at least let us know who this man is so we can Google him and find out who he is, what he does, and Mr. Boakai should understand that he will be scrutinized as a presidential candidate. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, but with you, Mr. Jackson, you're not going to say on the show tonight that you believe that Mr. Joseph Yemen Boakai, former vice president, UP Senabera, went to Nigeria to meet drugs and dealers. You will not say this on the show.
No, tonight. I don't believe that.
Thank you.
I don't believe that. No ways. I know Boakai. I know his character, and I don't believe he will wittingly. And watch my language now. Wittingly. Wittingly means knowingly, but he may be unwittingly led to somebody who has a scandal. He may not himself know about it, But the
So are you not
intermediary,
driving to the point that who organized this meeting, who
exactly,
initiated the meeting?
who
Are
the
you not saying
intermediaries
that, well,
are.
maybe it was done by somebody out there organized a meeting on, so but yet and still I don't think Joseph Nima Boakai went into a meeting
No,
that
he
he
won't
didn't
do
know
that
he was leading.
knowingly. Knowing the kind of careful man he is, knowing the kind of family man he is, knowing the kind of effort Baptist deacon he is,
Yeah, man.
he would never knowingly go to meet with an arms dealer with a checkered past. But just like you saw a few years ago, my cousin Dr. Toka McIntosh was led to is Max Brugger, who was supposed to be a Danish journalist, and he was basically fooled into granting this guy diplomatic status, and this whole team went on YouTube, and it's a major scandal in his name today. So Joseph Boakai, the man I know, he needs to be managed much more carefully, because I'm not even seeing the assumption or the throw out there is true that he met an arms dealer, because that's what the Kip is saying. That there's no documentary evidence of this guy. But who is this man? Let's Google him. Let's find out what his background is. And Joseph Numa Boakai, and if his people are listening to me, they should be very careful in this.
Hold on, Cap. Hold on 1 minute. Cap. Hold on 1 minute. Cap. Hold that no. Cap. No, he got to finish. Mr. Jackson, finish up. Please.
So the fact that they did not make a press statement, and since they've been there, they have not done a press release. Then they're open to speculation. Okay, good, bad, evil. The people will speculate because he's a vice president. He's a presidential candidate, and his adversaries will try to look for all of the bad things to paint him badly because they want to score points against him. That's politics. That's a game of politics. Plain and simple.
Right. Thank you very much. Let me bring in Salamatu. Then I will leave the two Hebrew, how you call him, Louis Brown.
Man, you need to stop discriminating against us.
Yeah, Louis Brown said Hebrew brothers. I will leave the two Hebrew boys later. Salamatu. Hold on 1 minute. Salamatu, talk to us. Talk to us real quick. Hold on, okay.
No, you know, one, I do agree. Ambassador Boakai is a potential presidential candidate. I wouldn't say he is one now. He's a potential. He has stop. He has he's shown sign that he would like to be a presidential candidate, but nevertheless, he still is a public figure. So therefore, anything he does will be in the public eye, and the public needs to know. And with that being said, your history and your experience says a lot about you. I don't know the ex-VP personally. I know of him. I know people who know him, and this is not in his DNA to be meeting with knowingly. You put that word, knowingly meeting with ex-dealer, arms dealer. So I wouldn't say, yeah, he went to meet an arms dealer unless we have some kind of a proof. This guy, he served Liberia for over 50 years. We don't know him to have gotten into any kind of trouble before. He's not linked to any illegal activities. I don't think in his older years that he will start doing it. And again, with that said, his team need to do a better job at communicating with the public on where he's going. He is a public figure, even if you don't want to believe that he is a presidential candidate or he's no longer in the public office. He is a public figure. He is our ex-VP. He's still, I'm sure, benefiting from a lot of our public funding. Isn't he getting paid by the government? Isn't he entitled to that? So therefore, he does owe it to the public to let us know, where are you going? Issue a press statement. You know what? The vice president is taking a trip to XYZ. And when it comes to pay for play, this is where, when we talk about good governance, this is where it comes in. a lot of people will do things before the election. There will be some we will see, and there will be some we won't see. A lot of people come in, sell part of Liberia on promises that when I get there, I will give you X, Y, Z. But this is where our need for a good governance come in. We need to make sure we have strong institutions that can catch a lot of these things. We also need to make sure our existing policies and our existing laws actually work. So when you go out there doing the campaign season and you make any kind of agreement, but when you come, if you should win, and you try to pass some of these illegal agreement, that our system is able to catch it. But honestly, you know, I would have to say I don't think at this point that he's with anybody doing anything illegal. If anybody have something otherwise, we beg you. Y'all don't keep telling us. Y'all will send it to us. Y'all put it aside. Let us so we can talk about it.
So let me go to the two Hebrew brothers side of my two, and I'm bringing in, I'm reaching out to the UP Secretary General Amos Toy to come on the show. It is important for him to come and clarify some of this issue. I may be on the record today, and I think my brother's going to kill me. I do not believe Jose Boakai met any drugs or arm dealers. I think he went there for a very constructive meeting that would guide his election process and that of the country. Other than that, show me the paper, show me the document, and we'll have a good conversation. Now let's turn to our two Hebrew brothers.
I'm sorry,
yes,
before you.
Can I just say, please, Dr. Richardson, let's finish this thing.
No, but hold on 1 minute. Hold on 1 minute. Kev, hold on. Don't do that.
No.
Let's give the lady the chance. Go ahead.
So I wanted to speak about, even if Vice President Boakai was going to raise money, I think the public still need to know, because how someone campaign is funded can impact your perception, your thoughts about whether you welcome this person to Liberia, what they want from Liberia. It's an ethical issue for me. It's an ethical violation. I know a lot of us Liberians are not worried about ethics, you know, when it comes to what we do before the presidency or the presidency. But that's what it stands for. I mean, he could be, like I said, he could be hanging out with people who are Save the Children humanitarian organization, or he could be with.
All right, so we got that, Dr. Richardson. That's fine. That's fine. You tell him to go save the children.
Because I see some people are not.
No, it's okay. Let's get to Eugene Fagon. Thank you, Dr. Richardson. Honorable Fagon. Now,
why are you keeping me so last? Why cannot you listen to me?
Okay, go first. Go
ahead. Go ahead.
Let's put this thing down.
You guys are brothers.
Who is this?
Listen, Kev, do me a favor. Don't do that. You have to screenshot it and send it to us that we can show it up. Please. Just send James. No. So I will pause you. Take the picture, send it to James. We want to see it better. Eugene, please come in, please.
Well, I'm so glad he finally talked to the two Hebrew boys. But, you know, I'd rather be a Hebrew boy than to be an opposition observer. You had Francine Chinonwe on their platform with just me and her. And you and Tomalin went to that meeting. And y'all didn't tell anybody that y'all were going to that opposition meeting. And now
Faga, don't do that crap on the show. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
No. Don't do that. Go ahead with your. Go, but Louis Brown said 3 Hebrew brothers, and they were not brothers. Yeah, they were not brothers. So now you guys are 2. But make your case, Eugene. Let me steer up for once though. You and Kev saying the same thing. Yeah. Okay. Let me hear what she said concerning the trip, the private jet situation.
Who, now, me or her?
You, Fagon, go ahead, please.
All right, listen. I'm not here to say stuff to you. I'm here to give you fact, because I'm not here for what you think. I don't want to think bad of Joseph Boakai. But here are some facts you need to consider. Fact number 1. If JMB went to see the Pope, the Liberian people deserve to know, true or false? True. Our operatives sat on this platform and said, it's none of your business for getting to know that the man is a candidate. So let's look at some fact. Benin Ayure, Victor Bout, and Gus Copenhagen were being sought after for arms dealing. Because Benin Ayure were under Taylor, they arrested Gus Copenhagen in Norway or Holland, if you want to call it, and they arrested Victor Bout. They both were serving prison sentences until yesterday. Now here is a fact. You know who JMB was sitting next to in the plea? That man, Benin Ayure, the third complacent individual in the arms deal. That's not what you are thinking. It is a fact now. Now, if we ask, where was this plane going? To whom and why? And you tell us it's not our business. And then somebody tell us, say, they went to see arms dealer. Then he said, no, I don't think so. The man sitting next to him is on record. Now, the second thing, they went to Burkina Faso, where the Russians have their base. Snow said it. You say, I don't think so. But Victor Bout was a Russian. I mean, it's a Russian. And he was released today in a Russian swap. And as Ure partner. And Ure was sitting next to JMB. Now, we come here today not to think, but to look at a candidate and say when Hillary Clinton was running for president, they went for her emails and Donald Brazil resigned. When Trump was running for president, they linked him to Russian dealings to undermine U.S. election. And you say JMB is running for president. You don't think he's a bad man. None of us think he's a bad man. But you are telling the Liberian Stanton today, the Liberian people, that it's none of their business. You are joining Costa to say it's none of their business. Because every time you create a vacuum for information, you open a chiasm for misinformation. So I'm saying to you tonight on this platform, and to the Liberian people, they say it's none of our business. We don't deserve to know. The other people call us, they say, you know where they went? They went to do arms deal. Then you say, no, we shouldn't say it on this platform. Let them come and tell us who gave this plea and why. Where did this plea go? If they don't do that tonight, the one the person told me about Burkina Faso, I will have to believe it. The one that told me about Kaduna and Sokoto, and even the meeting with a supporter of Boko Haram, then I have no choice. I would rather believe my Liberian people. But if the capables are not available, Sam Jassy, what happened? The available becomes capable, true or false. It is what it is.
But Fagon, let me stick with you for a second. I'm not saying do not speak on the issue.
No, you didn't say that.
No, hold on, Fagon. Fagon, hold on now. I am telling you that I disagree with your own views. It's okay to disagree with you. So you have your right to speak.
Sorry,
but hold on, Fagon. You have your right to speak.
I don't have.
But I have my right. I don't have because okay, but I have my right to disagree with your opinion.
Yeah, I just want to know
some of your sources. So let's bring in Kev Hassan. We'll come back to Dr. Peabody. I see our brothers and
And by the way, I sent you the picture of the plea, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And Honorable Fagon, you host a show called Fact and Fiction. So
yes, sir.
What I want us to do, let's look at the facts right here. James, can you put it? His name is there. Google the name and who is in Duca. Who is that guy? And I do have a video that you can play to show who is that guy.
Did you send a video? Did you send a video?
No, I sent it here, but who is not Duca video? Listen, the video about the guy, not video with this sitting down. But look, who is that guy? that GMB and Benedict Ure standing there. Who is that guy? Mr. Sam Jackson. Go on your phone and Google everybody there. You Google this guy.
No, you got to spell it in.
And see this and see who that guy is. I don't think he's on the children home center. I don't think he's there on. He's the owner of this newspaper called This Day. He's the guy. They say, read under what they say. They met on Tuesday. Who is that guy? That guy is he's a pastor. Who should stop this, man? This is not.
What's his name, Kev?
Huh?
What's his name?
Let me send it to you. Everything.
No, spell it. Let the person look it up. Spell it, man. Full name.
Yeah. It's Nduka. The last name is Obaigibena. Go and look at our people, Liberian people who watching. You Google this man. That GMB.
Kev, let me ask you a question. Pause now. You came up. What's the date on this newspaper? What's the date, Kev?
It's Thursday.
Kev, what's the Kev Hassan, please. I'm begging you, please. What's the date on the information you are showing us? What's the date?
Thursday, December 8th.
What year?
2022.
Kev, what's the guy name again?
Kev, hold on.
Nduka. Obaigibena. Nduka.
Not only even Telia posted this thing today. CEO,
yes,
go on Telia page. You see it there. She posted this bragging on this.
Okay, hold on now. Kev, calm down.
The leader of the Benedict is bragging on this thing.
Yeah, sometimes when you make sometimes you're making an argument, calm down. We're gonna pause to understand it. We are not forcing. We're trying to serve the Liberian people the best way we can. Calm down. Hold on now. Hold on, Kev, hold on. You're referring us to Telia Europe page. Can somebody go on Telia Europe page, please, and send us the information that we can post? This gentleman, you are confirming that this picture is of the recent trip, correct?
That's what it
correct, Kev?
Is that people can read it.
Kev, is this? But Kev, answer the question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just relax.
Man.
They said how we raise crude oil production from 900,000 MBPD to 1.6 MBPD, and the rest of the story is there. You make your point while we dig into this story, and I just send the link to Amos Tway. Maybe he will speak to the Liberian people when he comes on. But go ahead and talk to us.
Okay. Celebratory of Dr. Richardson, you guys went on Telia page. Are you a friend with Telia?
Yeah. But what I'm trying to understand, I'm trying to Google the guy. Yeah, we're friends with Telia, but I'm trying to understand what exactly are we supposed to be looking for? That this man is an armed dealer?
Okay. Take his name and Google his name. That was
I'm Googling it, and they're telling me the man is some kind of mogul and prince in Nigeria.
Oh, so you don't.
So yes.
No, they want us.
Listen, guys.
Yeah, well, let me look.
He is the chairman of. Listen, guys. He is the chairman of This Day, the newspaper that the article page, Arise Group. His name is Prince Nduka Obaigibena. That's his name. Prince Nduka. The last name is Obaigibena. So we will all have our say today. We will give our view on this. We're gonna go on all the pages and confirm who he met. But Kev, if he met this prince, what's the problem? Who is this prince? Is he in a bad dealing relationship internationally? Is he corrupt? Is he a bad dude? What's your problem that the vice president and Ben let me finish. Let me finish. The vice president and Ben you're meeting Mr. Obangwini. What's your issue with it?
Because this man, people see it. This man in 2015, you know, he racked the entire Nigeria with an armed deal of $2.1 billion scandal. $2.1 billion, which racked the Nigerian during the general election.
You are speaking as Kev Hassan. I got nothing to show. You are speaking from what you are reading from. It's in the newspaper, correct?
I come send it to him, Kev. Don't worry.
Matter of fact, I can send you a video that incident.
Send it to James. Yeah, but send it to James now.
Yeah. No, the reason I call you because you question my. Let me tell you, I have a damn good sources. Nothing wrong with this. This man is an armed dealer. Armed dealer. You Google it, you check it, it's there. Matter of fact, let me send people act like.
Why you rushing? I send a link to the man. I let the man read.
Let people acting like Tilia page is not existing. Yeah, yeah. She posted it. She posted it. She posted
it. We're not seeing it. Screenshot it and send it, my brother.
I'm sorry.
In the chat room.
I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
I said send it to James. Who got to post it? Send it to James.
Okay. Let me send it to James. Say in the chat room. I send it.
So pause now. Kev. Okay, guys, everybody got to pause for a minute, please. Dr. Peabody and Sintuman and George, you have heard enough. Talk to us, please.
Let me say this. I've just been reading the article about this man, and firstly, Vice President Boakai has a prerogative to travel. If he has friends that will send him plane, they can do that. But the optics, the Liberian folks, if this were some other opposition, of course, folks would want to know. Because just the other day we were on somebody because they were living large, or Mr. Cummings were doing certain things, and for the poor people, they're not going to accept that. But yes, he around private plane, and I'm reading about a guy who's considered to be a blackmailer of $2.1 billion and stuff like that. This guy's a blackmailer. So the optics is bad. To be honest, the optics look bad. If this guy has this kind of record. And knowing Vice President, he should not even be with this kind of person. He should not even be associating himself with this kind of person. So I think it's bad, like it will be to any other political party, any other group. People will be out there. They will be talking. Or why is President we are doing this? Why is he with this person? Why is Mr. Cummings this person? Why is Mr. Benedict with this person? We have been on the show, and we have grilled people on the show. We have grilled them. So the optics is really bad for the vice president to be up there with a blackmailer. It's bad.
All right, thank you, Dr. Peabody. Sintuman and George.
Well, first of all, we should have evidence to that the person is somehow a blackmailer or whatever the case. We couldn't just read things. The person should be on list of criminals or so forth. What we have is we can find them. He won't be free in Nigeria today doing business and involving a lot of lucrative ventures. He won't be that. He will be somebody wanted on wanted list, be black on the list of people that we should be afraid of and so forth. But we should be careful because if we start talking about people meeting about certain people, there are some people have met that have worse record than this guy they're talking about. So we'll be very mindful. So when we say that some of our friends don't understand the nitty-gritty of Liberian politics and our politics, and we say with a lot of interest because we know what we're talking about. And some people just starting this thing because we've been around. We've been with the system for a long time. We know exactly who people have interacted with. So let's be very mindful when we put the fingers, because this man, what I'm seeing, he's the chairman and editor in chief of This Day Arise Media Group. Okay, until I can see a conviction where he was convicted or something that he was linked to, that he was convicted, I will not cast expressions on him, on his character. And the former vice president, he has a right to meet whoever he want to meet. I mean, especially once the person is not a threat to national security or so forth. He can be the one. He's a private citizen. So, and instead of discussing the former vice president trip, I understand he's running for president. We agree, but we should understand that election is coming and people will be traveling here there with different means of travel, private jet, whatever the case. But once it's not our taxpayer funds, I don't have a problem with this at all. And I think he has a right to visit Nigeria and to meet his friends. So I don't know. We have our president been out of the country for almost 2 months, and we're talking about the former vice president trip. That's why we really be focused on. Again, it's a fair game.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to Mr. Jackson. Let's do another round on this thing. Mr. Jackson, while we're reading here about Mr. Prince Obeme, now listen, before the ascent of Arise News, some staff and suppliers complained about the Prince's failure to meet payment deadlines. Prince had paid all debts to employees. About 3 years after the launching of Arise News, Prince was involved in an inquiry being conducted by Nigeria's Economic and Financial Crime Commission, which was investigating the spending of 2.1 billion fund. The ensuing course of investigation affected Prince Obeme's operation. About this period, staff complained and took job action because of the delay in payment. Mr. Jackson, like Tumalin said, this man was never charged. We have nothing to say that he was charged, and anyone here can beat on me, that's fine. Mr. Jackson, there is nothing hanging on him to say he's a criminal. Nothing.
Okay. So
can you help? Can you help? Can you help?
Yeah, okay. Look, let's just be very clear here. Politicians will take any information that is not complimentary and amplify it. That's the game of politics. If you don't want to be in that game, get out, right? So, once again, while I know Mr. Boakai personally, and I know that he would not wittingly meet with an arms dealer or somebody with a checker thing, but I think the information that we are receiving now appears a little tinted, and therefore they should have been ahead of this. But I prefer to discuss, matters of state, the economy, poverty indicators, Mawata in Douala. Those are the kind of things I want to